Good morning, Sangha, dear friends. Thank you for being here today. Today I wanted to talk about the Heart Sutra. It's one of the most widely used texts in Mahayana Buddhism, not only for its contemplative potential for awakening, but sometimes as a kind of protective amulet or like a good luck charm. Practitioners would recite it, write it, and are just carried around with them to ward off any kind of misfortune from um, evil spirits to bad weather. Um, it's also likely the most controversial of the Mahayana Sutras and the Prajnaparamita teachings because of the claims it makes about how far emptiness goes. In this tradition, we chant it once a week or daily, depending on the individual practice. In the version we use, it doesn't mention that the scene is at Vulture Mountain or that the Buddha was meditating very close by. There is a slightly longer version that does mention this. It also has the Buddha praising the Bodhisattva and their understanding at the end. I had been looking for this longer version, since Suko told us about it. And I finally found it in Red Pine's commentary. And though it's from the Tibetan tradition, I thought it might deserve a mention. Because there's a lot to unpack in the Heart Sutra, I'm going to go stanza by stanza, and I'll start with the title, the Maha Prajnaparamita Hridaya. That can be translated into the great heart of the perfection of wisdom. Thich Nhat Hanh's translation is the insight that brings us to the other shore. It's also called the Bhagavati Prajnaparamita Hridaya, or the Blessed Mother Heart of the Perfection of Wisdom. The teachings of Prajnaparamita is regarded as the mother of all Buddhas, and there are traditions that view the Prajnaparamita as an actual deity. I take it to mean the source of all Buddhas, as in it's like the understanding that has the power to awaken the Buddha within everybody. I think invoking a maternal figure and having the Bodhisattva of Compassion update Sariputra's understanding shows how wisdom needs compassion in equal measure. That starts off the Bodhisattva of Great Compassion, from the deep practice of Prajnaparamita, perceived the emptiness of all five skandhas and delivered all beings from their suffering. Now, for us that have been chanting that every day, it doesn't sound too controversial, but when it first came out, it was very controversial, and it was kind of a sore spot for any kind of Abhidharma orthodoxy. Because the Abhidharma says that although the individual is an illusion and empty of a permanent, unchanging core, the skandhas and building blocks of cosmos are independent and permanent. Sariputra, who is entrusted with the Abhidharma, is now having his understanding corrected by Avalokiteshvara, and we're finding out the skandhas are empty. This ruffled feathers is still ruffling feathers today. It was said that the Prajnaparamita teachings are later additions to the Dharma, not at all what the Buddha taught. To counter this, there is a myth made out about Nagarjuna, who went and he retrieved the Prajnaparamita teachings from the Nagas, which are sea spirits, who were holding on to them until people were ready, and that they actually did come from Buddha. I don't know if that myth really helps or hinders the legitimacy aspect, but I see it as a metaphor for expounding on a part of the Dharma that was never so deeply examined as of yet. I mean, Nagarjuna didn't come up with the two truths or the middle way, but he did set up his tradition and school of thought from his understanding of the Kṣānti Sutta, which is in the Pali Canon, and which is where the teachings originate with the Buddha. If everything depends on conditions, everything is empty with no exceptions. This doesn't mean nothing exists. It means everything depends on everything else and is not separate from anything else. Looking deeply into one Dharma, we can feel all Dharmas. Then we go into, O Sariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. Now, what does this mean? Feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness are emptiness. Feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness are form. In the absolute sense, there is no distinction. In the conventional sense, distinctions are made. It's like that old Zen parable that most of us, I'm sure, have heard before about the rivers and mountains. Before awakening, rivers are rivers and mountains are mountains. During awakening, rivers are no longer rivers, mountains are no longer mountains. And after awakening, rivers are once again rivers, and mountains are once again mountains. Separation is an illusion, and labels are illusory tools. We use them knowing they are imperfect. And unless we develop telepathy, we will likely keep that practice going on. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So when the illusion of separation, when the borders are seen through, there is nowhere to go. In all opposition, there's really complementary aspects of the same process. Woman and man are not opposites. They're both complementary aspects of humanity. And there are no opposites to humanity except no humanity, just as there's no true opposite to woman except no woman. And then it goes into, so in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance. Here the Heart Sutra is shifting away from the middle aspect and points to the absolute aspect of the two truths. Many practitioners mistake that to mean that it's a truer side of the truth and that nothing is really here. Thich Nhat Hanh in Thich Nhat Hanh's insight that brings us to the other shore, he has a story about a student telling their master that the Heart Sutra explains that in actuality there are no noses. Of course, the master tweaks their nose. The student is in great pain and rather upset. Emptiness is form. Form is emptiness. In emptiness, there is no form. But in form, there is emptiness. In form, there are eyes, there are ears, noses, tongues, bodies, and minds. If the writers included this flip side, like Maha said, they would save a lot of tweaked noses. That's why his remedy was to say that in emptiness, noses are not separate self-entities, rather than saying there's in emptiness no nose. So separation is the illusion. The separation between the dharmas, not the dharmas themselves. No. We are here. We're just not here as an island. We're not here alone. We contain the cosmos. And we have no old age and death nor extinction of them. To me, this seems to be speaking from both sides of the truth, because through causation, it's hard to see where we begin. Some say we can trace it all back to the Big Bang. Others say that even that needed countless causes and conditions to eventually happen. Without the tree, there can be no paper. Stepping further, the paper also needs clouds and the sun, and the labor that goes into it. So we can say that piece of paper was present in the Big Bang in the form of conditions that eventually gave it rise. So tracing our beginning could be like looking for a first cause where there is no first cause, where it's a beginningless cycle. If we end up taking it to a first cause, logically it seems to me it would have to come from nothing. But there can't be something from nothing, because nothing necessarily implies no conditions for anything. And that's the conventional aspect of it. Absolutely, there are no borders, no distinctions or concepts. So there's no coming, there's no going. We have no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. Here we could seem to be negating the very foundations of our salvation, because it sounds like it's negating the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. But I think it's more negating concepts. It doesn't say nothing exists. It says, for there is nothing to attain. In the Dana Sutta, when asked point blank if he was a person, God, or whatever else, Buddha didn't say, I am not really here, or I don't exist. He just says, I am awake. Nagarjuna says, when emptiness is possible, everything is possible. If emptiness were impossible, then nothing would be possible. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but Prajnaparamita. Therefore, her mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance, there is no fear. Away from all perverted views, he reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in Prajnaparamita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. So here we say her and his mind, not no mind. Both truths, or the aspects of truth, work together and are not at odds. If there is no conventional side, there would be no experience and no awakening. No mud means no lotus. Know then the Prajnaparamita is a great Dharani, the radiant, peerless mantram, the utmost supreme mantram, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. This, to me, just re-solidifies the notion that the Prajnaparamita Hridaya Sutra is the mother of all Buddhas, whereas in the understanding of this one sutra can and hopefully will lead to Buddhahood. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the Prajnaparamita. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha. Means gone, gone, gone to the other shore. Gone completely and altogether. Awakening hail. And it says gone, not going. So it leads like it's already happened. As if the Buddhas see through the illusion of time, the duality of time. And so for them, we're already there. It is said that one of the things Buddha exclaimed was, when he woke up, was how wonderful, all sentient beings are already fully endowed with the wisdom and virtues of the Buddha. Yet because of their delusions and attachments, they do not see it. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha.